So out there today, let's talk about our weather here. We have some fairly quiet weather this morning, at least, although it is warm and it's humid. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s, and dew points are also in the 60s and 70s, meaning it's going to be a humid morning. It's going to be a very humid day. So just be ready for that. When you step out the door, it's going to be feeling like mid-July out there. The satellite and radar just shows a little bit of cloud cover making its way in from the west, but nothing significant at the moment. We may have a sprinkle, maybe a quick shower this morning, but for the most part, any heavier rain should hold off until after dark. So most of the day will be pretty quiet. That's good news if you're going to be out and about. One last day at the pool, hey, why not? And off to our west, we have a front that's bringing some severe weather to parts of upstate New York at the moment, and a lot of lightning and thunder out there. Now, there is a chance for some severe weather into Connecticut later on today, but for the most part, I think the vast majority of it stays up to our north and off to our west. So in parts of southern New Hampshire and Vermont and into northern Massachusetts, that's where the most likely threat is for big storms later on today, possibly a couple of tornadoes up there, and one or two of those potent storms could stray into Connecticut. So that's something we'll watch for. There's the slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center. I know it doesn't sound like much being a slight risk, but basically, it's in the middle, low to middle of the range here in terms of the severe threat. And then a marginal risk, which is a little bit lesser than that. That's in the really low range. That continues into all of Connecticut for the overnight hours. So we'll be watching for that pretty closely. But that thunderstorm chance, as I said, should hold off until the later hours of the day, probably more towards like maybe 9 or 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, sometime around there. Other than that, just a partly to mostly cloudy day. There will be some sunshine out there. It's going to be hazy sunshine and hot and humid weather during the day today with temperatures into the 80s, and that south wind getting a little breezy at times, around 10 to 25 miles per hour. Not too much of a concern, but somewhat of a rustling of the trees out there during the day today. And it won't really cool you off too much because of how hot and humid it's going to be today. Some scattered thunderstorms out there tonight, temperatures into the 60s to near 70, and the humidity sticks around during the overnight hours. The wind does change a little bit as a front comes through. That'll bring that wind from the south to from the northwest, so kind of changing a little bit in terms of the wind, but overall just a fairly humid stretch here. And by tomorrow, we do still have the chance for some showers. Here's 1 p.m. tomorrow, showing a little bit of scattered shower activity across the area. Not a complete and total washout of a day, but there will be some showers, maybe a little bit of drizzle and fog throughout the day on Thursday, with temperatures getting into the 70s. So it's going to be a little bit of a cooler stretch for just a couple of days here as we get back a little closer to average. Now, today, up around 85. The average high for this time of year is around 76, 77 degrees. That's the average high and the average low there, always in the top right corner of the 7-day forecast. So 70s for a couple of days, right back up to around 80 for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. The weekend looking pretty quiet at this point. Possibly a couple of afternoon showers, maybe a brief thunderstorm in the area on Saturday with some classic summertime weather, but overall, as I said, classic summer weather with a good amount of heat and humidity out there, especially considering it's mid-September. Things theoretically should start cooling off sometime soon, but not really the case as we head into the weekend. We'll keep you up to date with that forecast all throughout the morning, and more space updates, of course. Why not? All that coming up throughout the morning. For now, Keith, back to you.